Hi, welcome back to channel TrainStation2. Alright, in the last competition we got first, and of course together the top 5% in a way we got enough of those keys to claim this epic train. Really happy here. And of course I will share with you the last batch of keys is finished. That's the gift codes. You get another 30. Hopefully that brings you to sufficiently to change for the trains that you love. So of course we'll share with my teammates in the union as well. So here we have upgraded ourselves to 705, and just quickly share you the happiness here. Of course, getting this epic train. That's really the last one that I'm looking at because I've claimed all the trains in the event. I'm really happy with this. Of course, special bidding we couldn't get afford it. So now I'm back to the start of the last competition. So before that, let's check out the luck here. Alright, get a great rare train, and this is one of the missing trains. So in GIS we left with just 2 more legendaries in the region, and I think we have completed the full collection. So really happy with that, and share you another epic train that we got from those containers, those free containers that we achieved, and the tail end itself. Alright, so that's really happy, even though it is a duplicate. Samurai Motos, unfortunately, we have not been doing really well, and all thanks to the dump percentage bonus as they put in place by Pixar. They never changed, as I mentioned many times. I grumbled a lot on that. It's really stupid, but nonetheless, that's Pixar, right? So forget about that. If you are together with me and Samurai, so be it. We'll be losing a lot of keys there, so be it. But hopefully you get all the trains that you wanted. So now back to the gameplay. As usual, I mean, by now you should know in terms of events what you should need to do. EPH start, get your factories working round the clock. That is the event ones, and of course the core factories that you have, basically all the factories that are non-event, fully upgraded, have all the production lines stored so they can store items in the input trays and act as your additional warehousing. If possible, upgrade your warehouse capacity, and of course get as many dispatchers, permanent ones, as you can, and of course upgrade the capacity of your trains, increase the size of the fleet by saving up keys, and then eventually opening up the containers, hoping you get it through luck. Never spend gems, that's what I was mentioned. Never spend gems on containers to buy trains. That's not worth it. Save up the gems to upgrade your factories, in terms of the non-core factories I'm talking about, and at the start of a competition, a long one, those big events like this, you should spend about 110 gems, 30 gems for the first slots of the event factory, and another 80 gems for the second slot. So that adds up to 110 gems. You can see here we have 4 slots in the event factory. That will allows you to keep on building the event items so that eventually you'll fight well in competition. So that's the bare minimum you should be doing. If you have more than enough gems to spare, then you go ahead and engage whatever you want in terms of the 1 week dispatches or not, but I've not been using that because I thought really a waste of gems. I'll rather upgrade the core factories. Hopefully you have done that. So that's the gist of playing in terms of competitions, and in this last competition I realized probably a lot of people have already hit more than 100%, or also called hit 100% mark of the event mapped. So progression has been really slow and tough. Like everybody experienced the same thing. One job could take me 10 hours or so, given the fact that we've entered into a new region, Japan, and because of this small capacity. Fortunately, there are indeed some big trains that I have after upgrading 80 to 80 capacity for legendary. One rare train that's I think up to 30, then common trains up to 20. This is some of things that you should be doing when you go to a new region, because after all, train capacity is all it takes, and of course you're really frustrating to have all the trains with capacity of 4 and 6, and you're being stuck in that context because you just can't move things, because it's imagine you're asking hundreds of items and you are using 4 capacity, and I think that's really terrible. That's what I've been experiencing. I think it took more than 12 to 15 hours for jobs. That's why it's really tough. But nonetheless, I'm really glad with this additional keys and coins here that we get up to the top 5%. We have that additional bits, and only then I realized that actually I can do in getting the epic train. So I've decided to quickly finish up the 3 jobs on hand, and before I share this video with you, And this is the moment that all the spare coins comes in play. Generally, you'll be just spending on big boxes since you already claimed that 1000 train, 1000 coin train, and of course you spend ore that you could to exchange for ore to gold. Everything else goes to big boxes, and that's what I've been doing. Again, all this is important. You gotta save up the parts so you can upgrade the trains that you live, especially new region are expensive. So we have 2313. Just need 100-ish in terms of the keys that we hit 2005. I calculated just enough. We have a few jobs, and together with earlier but we have achieved the 30 keys from the finish, right? That's the gift code finish. That's additional 30. So it all adds up. We have sufficient for 2,500. That's why I rush to get this jobs all done in order to claim that last epic train. And I really need that epic train in this new region badly. So this is really why I really want to do all these jobs really fast. Surprisingly for Japan is everything is not open app to me. So unless I finish up the few opening jobs, which is all this before I can get access to tungsten, even the coins and whatnot. So it's quite frustrating initially because it's really tough in the midst of competition. We don't have time to do the region jobs, and of course now we have some time in between the main events. Probably I'm going to focus more in terms of doing Japan region jobs rather than the Train Tycoon. Train Tycoon would probably give us some parts or gold and whatnot. It depends what's given. I wouldn't know because I'm not joining it yet. As usual, all competitions I always join late. So I'm really into just building Japan and really looking into building the capacity. Fleet size wise, I'm happy with this additional 5 trains from this event. That adds on to the good fleet size. Also, as I mentioned earlier, capacity, they all have a good starter capacity, much higher than the regional trains. So it's important if you could get as many event trains as possible. Even they have not upgraded, they serve as very high capacity trains for you. This is the first competition, so I only have this first 5 high capacity trains. Along the way, when more and more of these competitions comes into play, big events like this, I'll get more of this competition trains or event trains you call it, and that will adds on to the fleet's size and capacity. That's how you grow in terms of your fleet size and capacity to win more and more competition as you go along the way. Next competitions or event for me will be really tough because of the low capacity. But fleet size, I should have a good fleet size already by now. With spending a few thousand keys and with some luck along the way, we claim more of the rare and epic. I'm not going to dismantle or sell them at this juncture. They are all really important. As you see just now, or actually introduced it earlier in the start of the video, we left with 2 more legendaries to go, but nonetheless, even though we get the rare, there's 6 capacity. It's not a big deal, so it's really painful, especially the big jobs quantity. So really hoping to gain more gold along the way, so we could upgrade the trains. But again, because the frustrating part about this Japan is we need to quickly do up those starter jobs before we can access to the gold in Japan. At this juncture, I have not get a single gold out of Japan yet. I heard it have a good capacity of 80, you could get 8,000 or so, but I'm hoping to that because I'm really happy to get that amount of gold from Japan. Definitely one of the most number of gold you can get from the more and higher region. And along the way, spending keys, hoping for the 2 legendaries, but of course no luck as usual. It's really tough most of the time. You'll be just getting comments after comments and then think that it's really common. Right, so just make sure you save enough keys and just keep on going. It's always like that, really close, and Pixel just make sure you got common again. So very unfortunate here. That's how stingy Pixel has been changing. Used to be quite a generous game developer, has been changed to a very set and stingy developer, unfortunately. I believe all developers are like that after a while. Games will get bad and worse, but not better. So that's really unfortunate, but that's how revenue generation company works. All right, thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe, and I wish you have a good rest. And before we make big for the next big event. Goodbye.